By the way, Tom, we have a chat going for the dinner, and I tried to. Are you in it?
He's in it.
Oh, he is. Okay, I tried to add him because I didn't see him, and it's like he wouldn't let me add him. So I guess that's why.
Because he wouldn't let you have me twice.
Yeah.
Thomas Strauss.
Esquire. Tom Straussbach, Esquire. The third.
There is no Esquire.
The third junior. What was that, Bill and Ted, where they're like, every time he introduce himself as Esquire. How's everybody?
Most excellent.
Oh, wow, that's pretty...
Wow, you're pretty York right tonight.
I know. If you're not York right, you're York wrong.
There you go.
Jason, how are you feeling? You sound a whole lot better.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought you said Jason. I'm sorry. I'm doing good, thank you. I got a little... Still got a little something. It's lingering, but I'm good. Thank you for your concern. Appreciate it.
It's called being Justin Jones.
I know. It's called being exposed to hundreds of sick kids all the time. But
I was referencing your Bill and Ted references, why I said most excellent. So.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh, nice.
I got you.
You didn't use the proper what would that be? The proper emphasization. Most excellent.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to go put on my checkerboard Vans.
Nice. I'm posting the link online since people were asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have something totally just it's off the wall, but kind of get things started, I guess. I was doing some wasn't really research. I was listening to a podcast, and they made an off the wall comment, and it really sent me down this rabbit hole. And so basically, they're saying is, what is Latin for light? Does anybody know?
Lux.
Yeah, lux, however you want to pronounce it. If you look at lux, if you look at historically how lux was spelt, anciently there wasn't a U. Like if you look at like Romans, they didn't use U. In fact, you still see that on like a whole bunch of courthouses in Texas. It'll be like Cavanti, right? So instead of a U, it was a V. And later on, that V would take the shape of a U, and there'd be a separation of the sounds and everything. But anyway, if you look at the Roman numerals, let me pull them up so I can be sure I'm telling you correctly. If you look at the Roman numerals, you have specifically in context of LVX, you have L, which is 50, V, which is 5, and X, which is 10. It's not gematria, but if you kind of apply the same principles, and if you just add all of the numbers together by themselves, you end up with 7. 7 being the number of perfection. And so it kind of made me think back to like the 7 days of creation. Let there be light, and also kind of in context of the night of the sun degree, things like that. And so I'm just putting that out there. It's a rabbit hole I haven't dug my way through all the way, but it was interesting to me, so I thought some of you might get a kick out of it too.
Nice.
No, granted.
Interesting, but I thought that the reason why they didn't put that on the buildings was it was harder to do with a chisel, which is why they went with V's and X's and.
Oh, maybe I don't know. That may be 100% true, but then again, like with the O's with county, it's circular. Mm-hmm. I think when you look at like the ancient stonemasons and the things that they did, carving a U shape would have been like not a problem, considering the intricacies of some of the stonework. Even if I'm not even talking about anciently. I'm just talking about like early 1900s when they're building courthouses and things like that. I think it's more of a callback to we used to kind of have a fascination with the Romans and Latin and things like that, and so I think it was more of a classical callback. You might be right. I'm just saying in context of the intricacies that they were putting into some of the nicer buildings. I don't think carving a U would really, especially when they're already carving C's and O's and things. I mean, a C is a sideways U, basically, just a little bit shorter. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure that the V was the biggest hang up.
Well,
Yep.
I don't know. So you're talking about Roman letters and not necessarily Latin letters.
Correct. And that is the thing. I haven't gone down the Latin rabbit hole of it. And there's a specific reason, I can't remember why, but like why the Romans, I don't remember why, but yeah. And it might be a huge coincidence. Yeah.
Justin, for clarification, I just Googled the why they used a V instead of a U.
Mm-hmm.
They said in Latin, U and a V weren't separate letters until like the 17th century. That was why.
Yeah.
They said most of them were like that, but I had no idea. I'm thinking.
What was that Life of Brian? They're like, "Are you nuts? NVTS nuts?" So that's just.
Oh man! All right, so yeah, that's a cool thing to think about to go down
Another
rabbit
example
hole
of
on
why
someday.
we don't want to. We also do not want to live in Justin's mind.
Justin want to live in Justin's mind most of the time. It's a scary place.
Talk about the life of Brian.
It's the upside down.
So tonight I kind of wanted to discuss the value of the inner circle. You know, the reason why I'm sad that Daniel's not here tonight, or not yet, anyways, because he would be proud of me for bringing it up right away. The reason why is because, you know, we announced the Inner Circle dinner on Facebook, and we've got a lot of brothers that are interested in coming to the dinner. But the dinner isn't for everybody. It's called the Inner Circle dinner for a specific reason, because it starts with our Inner Circle monetary contributors to Masonic improvement. So it's one of the benefits of being part of the Inner Circle that we offer. The monetary contributors are the ones who have a monthly subscription, not just hitting the subscribe and like button on our videos or whatever, but actually having a subscription to our show, to where you don't watch any commercials. You get all of our behind the scenes content that we publish for our Inner Circle members, sometimes, you know, being more in-depth discussions, sometimes very candid discussions, you know, just
book club.
We have our book club that we do every month. In fact, we had a new guy, new brother join this weekend, specifically for the book club, because he wanted to be a part of the book club that we're doing on Esoterica. He wanted to be a part of that. And so our brother from Illinois, I'd have to look it up real quick to remember his name right off the top of my head, but because it's not right off the top of my head. But there's kind of most people don't really understand what the Inner Circle member is. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and kind of touch on where my mindset for the Inner Circle came from. What are your thoughts on it, Justin? Just right off the top of your head.
Like, what is Inner Circle to me, or where did it come from?
Yeah, what is it to you? I mean, whether it be in reference here or whatever, what do you want to contribute to?
Man, that's almost a loaded question. There's a lot to say, but I'll try to be concise.
Well, do you want to wait and let's ask our inner circle members what they like about it first?
Yeah, we could do that.
Because we have our definite views on why we established it, right? And then they have their reasons.
Oh, how convenient, Jason.
Oh, how convenient, Jason. Yeah. Bailing on us right when we're fixing to.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't want to. I worry sometimes if I go before everybody else, they'll kind of feel
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if we go first, then everybody will just kind of feel the same way.
That's why you keep
because
a 2-liter.
I know we do, but we have a definite reason why we did certain things.
Jason, that's why you keep a 2-liter by your computer. You're not hardcore enough.
A full one and an empty one.
Everybody's leaving on us. That's why you gotta have that 2-liter, man. For the really long live streams, I just bring a catheter and just
yes,
hardcore.
An IV and a catheter.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no better way. It's the only way to fly.
There you go. Okay, well.
Well, let's start with Thomas then, since he's not afraid.
I don't know. When I first started listening to the podcast, I seen the thing for it, and at that time, you guys were. I think when I started listening was right after Grand Communication when I was initiated, and I knew that the dinner was part of the benefit of that. But to me, it was, and I even talked to Justin about it. I was like, well, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal to spend $6 a month. You know, because I know that to keep a podcast going, you get equipment to use and all that, you need money, and most of you guys are just doing that on your own dime. You know, so you know if you get a few people to chip in to help out, that's great. But I also thought with some of like Dennis had just mentioned certain behind the scenes things that not everybody sees. It's kind of like you take regular people who join us for the knowledge, that they're getting a little more knowledge. I was thinking, well, maybe the inner circle is a little more knowledge than I would normally get at a Blue Lodge. So I thought it was a worthwhile investment. I don't know if that was y'all's intention with it, but that was the way I viewed it.
Nice.
Nice, yeah. It's good stuff. All right, well, I got
some piggybacking to do on that one for sure.
I'll go ahead and go. Oh, is Josh back? Josh. Good timing.
I was just.
I know he's. Just,
oh, okay.
He was just joshing.
Joshing us.
You know, I like the inner circle for a couple of reasons. One, in educational wise, definitely, because I think sometimes in our Blue Lodges we feel that we lack some of that education, and so I think here we can get some of that we're looking for. I mean, I've always said this for numerous times, that we all join Masonry for a different reason. Some of it being education, brotherhood, just the pure behind the scenes look of it. And so, you know, once you start getting into it, you realize that what you think you were looking for, you may be something different. I know for me, for a fact, you know, I was in the history part of it, and it kind of changed into the educational ritual work and things like that. So I think getting a little bit more education here. Also, get a different point of view. I mean, you know, a lot of times I travel as much as I can. I definitely do not travel near as much as Dennis and Jason and everybody else. But to kind of see a different point of view from brothers around the state that's different than what's just down here in South Texas, to kind of get that point of view on different issues and different things we're facing at Lodge. So, and then just the camaraderie of like-minded brothers coming together on a podcast on a Sunday, you know, and just kind of chilling out and talking and shooting the bull and seeing what comes of it. So that's kind of what I think of it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good.
A lot. I
like it more than Dennis does.
I like it the most.
I like it infinity.
I like it to the moon and back.
Jason, are you back?
So I'm just gonna let everybody know that Cody bailed on us once again. Cody Stewart, we love you. We are always proud that you're on our show with us. But he always comes on and listens directly as an inner circle member, and but he's usually sitting next to his bride, and so he doesn't speak up, or he might get slapped. But no, just kidding. He doesn't turn the microphone on because there's background noise.
But we love having you.
But we love having you.
And
He always jumps in. He always jumps in on the chat and really gives me crap when I deserve it.
Daniel, quick, tell us what the inner circle is to you right now. Right now.
The Inner Circle is a dedicated group of Masonic men who find value in these types of discussions that also includes a book club, exclusive content, ad-free content, as well as access to Justin and Dennis that otherwise you would not get. Your chats are always read, your views are always appreciated, possibly poked fun of, and then you're also put on the spot when you join a Zoom call late Sunday night.
I gotta.
It's a really
That's
great
what I just
opportunity.
said.
I'm impressed you jumped right into it. I thought you were going to be like,
That's the salesman in it.
I know,
man.
right?
Drive it home, baby. Drive it home.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, and it's like all exclusive access to the dinner at the Grand Lodge of Texas. That's exclusive that you have to be vouched for to go to as well.
Heck
Yes.
yeah, bud.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the vouching starts right here with our inner circle members. If one of these guys doesn't like you, you're not going to be invited to our dinner. I can assure you, because it's our inner circle dinner for the people that care about what's happening in Texas Freemasonry, care about what we're doing to try to help that process, and care about their personal journeys as well, enough to contribute to this inner circle. That, you know, the information, the stuff that they bring to the table for us is so invaluable to me personally, that if there's somebody on the guest list that they don't want there, I'm going to make sure that they're not on that guest list. Simple as that.
Nice. Jason, what do you got?
So, I mean, most of you guys know Dennis and I are friends in real life. I mean, we were friends before he joined Masonic Improvement. And so, as far as access, man, I have all the access I need to Dennis and his wisdom.
Maybe too much access.
No, but I mean,
More than he ever really bargained for.
But I mean, there are a lot of Masonic podcasts out there that cover a wide variety of things, and but this one in particular, the whole idea is it's there to try and improve Texas Masonry, and so, but being a part of anything like that, you could just, obviously it helps just following the YouTube channel, liking the videos, sharing, all the usual kind of stuff. But now being on another podcast like I am now, I can tell you, we put out content twice a month, and I can tell you the amount of work that goes into it is substantial, and you're taking away time from other things that you could be doing, whether it's work, family, Masonic related, or anything like that. And I can guarantee you that these two are not getting rich off of a YouTube channel or podcast, but it helps because it is a lot of time and effort, and you're doing it for the sole purpose of trying to improve things around you. And if I thought that it was just simply a vehicle for Dennis or Justin's future Masonic political aspirations. Thank you. Aspirations. It'll come to me.
You and me, baby.
Yeah. If I thought it was solely just for that purpose, I would, as a friend, I would get on there and I would comment and I would share and stuff like that. But, would I, be an actual inner circle member. Maybe, maybe not. It just depends. But I do actually believe in what they're trying to do, and I want to help support that.
Love it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I guess it's my turn. So what is inner circle to me? I'll start with that, and I guess I'll just tell a story. I'll be long-winded anyway. When Masonic Improvement was at its inception, it was at kind of a like a personal Masonic renaissance that I was experiencing. That's why I created Masonic Improvement. I had originally left the fraternity for a short amount of time, because I just wasn't finding the Freemasonry I was promised. I experienced that bait and switch. I was told we take good men and make them better. I was told we were old. I was told there was a whole lot to it, and it was not there. It was fish fries and barbecue and just fundraisers and scholarships. And so I eventually found out, like, hey, I was right. I was right. And it's going to sound really narcissistic, but it's one of those things where, like, I'm right and everyone else is wrong. It's one of those kind of things. But I realized it wasn't everybody else. It was like 99% of everybody else, not everybody. And so that's why I created Masonic Improvement. And then about 4 years in, because it's been about 8 years, maybe 5 years in, that's when Dennis joined. And things really started gaining momentum and traction that way. And I had started to find my people. I brought Dennis on because he was one of my people. And we did several episodes. We worked together, just he and I, for probably about 2 more years. And then during the time that we were doing interviews, as we were going to like Grand Lodge and just traveling around and talking with other not necessarily talking, like-minded brothers would come up to us and tell us how much they appreciate the show, just things like general things like that. And I don't remember like what the conversation was that really led to it, but YouTube made some changes at the time. YouTube's always making new changes, and they allowed like this subscription thing. And it's like, I would really like, and really what it came down to, and again, I don't remember who started the conversation, but it was along the lines of, I would really like to have the opportunity to bring more like-minded people onto the show for a more consistent and informal basis, instead of like bringing on one person at a time and talking to them very formally. Just a core group of guys that are like-minded, that we're learning from each other. But the thing is, just like a lodge, if you have no cost, or if you, granted we're cheap, this is a cheap thing that I'm talking about. The inner circle doesn't have to be expensive. It's like $1.99. But my point is, if something is free and easy, you kind of open the gates, like, and anyone can come in, and you don't necessarily. I mean, that's why the inner circle is so exclusive. I mean, that's why the dinner is so exclusive, because we're going to talk about deep esoteric stuff, and we don't want just a whole bunch of people that all they see is fish fries and they don't understand what the hell we're talking about. It's the same thing. So we created this subscription format for this inner circle because we know, like Dennis always says, follow people's wallet. You know that if they care about something, they're going to pay for it. And I found my Freemasonry with this group, with the inner circle. And I mean, I say $1.99 is not a lot, but even that amount for someone to be willing to part with it on a monthly basis, there's a certain level of commitment. There's a certain level of dedication to whatever that is standing up for, or whatever that's behind. And so I know when someone's coming on to the inner circle, when they do a subscription, it's because, okay, I watched Masonic Improvement. I agree with your ideals. I like what you're talking about. I want to learn. I want to grow. And that's what the inner circle has become. I don't want to say it's like another lodge, because you kind of get into like a gray legal area, and it's not a lodge. Let's be totally clear. It's not a Masonic lodge. The conversations that we have here are deeper than I've had at any Masonic lodge. So it's so much more. It's so much more than that. It's so much deeper. And so that's. I guess I had both of them together. Like, what is the inner circle, and why do we have it? But that's what it is to me. It is. Thank you, Jason, for the boost. Appreciate that, brother. I must have been very inspiring. he'll downgrade again once Dennis starts talking.
That's a first and a last right there, baby.
But that's what it is to me. This is where Freemasonry doesn't have to be practiced in a lodge, and I guess that's really where I'm coming from with this. This is where I get my most Freemasonry, is from the conversations I have outside the lodge, and this is my primary conversation I have outside the lodge once a week. And we're not always live, let's be clear, because on top of the book club and everything else, sometimes we're just going to do a Zoom, and it's just going to be us. And it's totally behind the scenes, and it's totally just us wrapping inner circle stuff, just discussing the problems of our lodge, esoteric stuff. Yeah, so we do kind of similar thing with the book club, but I think like we're talking about next week, I think we're just going to do inner circle, where it's just us. And sometimes we have a topic, sometimes we don't, and it's always good. It's always enjoyable. I really like doing that a lot. I asked Dennis probably like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Hey, let's just do inner circle. He's like, no, Grand Lodge is coming up, but I totally get that.
Time to make the donuts.
Well, really, I mean, a lot of the stuff we talk about really kind of the head kind of rears up around Grand Lodge time, because it's kind of that time where we're asking ourselves, have we moved the bar? Are we going to see that quantified at Grand Lodge? Are we going to see, okay, different mentalities? And you could tell by the way people vote. And so it's kind of just a way to see if we're moving the bar in the right direction. So Grand Lodge is very exciting for both of us. But anyway, that's what the inner circle is to me. It is a group of my deepest Masonic friends. Well, let's be honest, all my friends are Masonic, so my deepest friends. And getting together and just discussing Freemasonry in a way that I don't get anywhere else, 99% of the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And just like, and this is more of a brotherhood than our brotherhood, in the fact that we do take cheap shots at each other, and we take it, and we love each other anyways. We know we're just having fun, and we all have our own ideas and thoughts, and we express them, and but we can still have fun in the process. Byron, so go ahead, and I'm going to let you talk before I do on this. What we're talking about is what the inner circle means to us.
Byron,
being an inner circle member.
Hey, sorry, I had to click over. I didn't see. I was like, "Where's Byron at?"
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm running late tonight. So, what is the inner circle to me? What does it mean to me? Man, yeah, brother, I could go on for hours.
We know. Don't worry, we know. But go ahead.
Dennis will beat you.
I just talk really slow. But, to be honest, like you were saying earlier, Justin, when I got into Masonry, it was because I wanted to join a civic-minded organization that was going to do good things in my community, and it was going to be an opportunity for me to give back. It was not about the journey of self-improvement that I have now come to embrace and enjoy and love. It was not about finding the brotherhood I have found right here in this, virtual room. Surely we have the opportunities to, as Dennis was saying, take cheap shots and rib on each other a little bit. But what I find here is the opportunity to really dig deep into the lessons of our degrees within the Blue Lodge and find the deeper esoteric meanings. Yeah, whatever, always respectful. I love you, Jason. You are the Jason. And we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, this is where I come. Not always on time, but this is where I come of a Sunday night to get my Masonic batteries recharged, to be reminded of the man that I want to become, and get a little closer to him on a weekly basis. That's the big thing for me.
Nice. That's a good saying to get a little closer to the man I want to become. That's pretty cool. I like that saying.
That's deep.
That really is that's the way I feel about this group. It's because you guys know that I am not anywhere near my birth lodge anymore. And I'm fixing to. I think I'm going to take the deep dive, and I'm going to join Waco 92 after the first of the year.
Let me know when you go. I'll come visit. I'll come visit with you.
I'm going. Yeah, their stated meeting in January. I'm going to be there.
Nice.
That's where I'm looking right now. I know that there are a bunch of great lodges in the Waco area, a bunch of them. And one of my dearest friends is a worshipful master at Gurley right now. And I don't doubt that I would learn a ton if I went and became a member at Gurley. But I believe with every fiber of my being, what I'm after is at Waco 92. And that's where I'm going.
I totally get it. I love my home lodge. I love my mother lodge, my home lodge. But there's other things that I get from the other lodges that I'm a member of, and it's not, and I don't recommend that for everybody, because ultimately, when you're spending time at one, another one suffers, and that's not what that's not really what we want in Freemasonry. It's not all that fair. However, when I am called upon by my brothers, sometimes with a couple of different emails, Josh, I will answer the call. That's for sure. I don't like leaving my brothers hanging. And Josh, I do remember that email now. That's the Goliad 94 Christmas party.
No, sir.
Oh,
that is the.
Oh, it's the Kovar Christmas party. Okay, but it happens to be
99
all the members of
99% of everybody that's invited is a Mason.
Yeah, and 99% of those Masons are from Goliad.
This year it's more like 75%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I do plan on coming. By the way, I just remembered. What that email was, but I do plan on coming.
That invite was invitation only, and you just put it out for the whole world to hear that I have a party going on for Christmas. So,
sorry guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't get an invite.
I'm part of that inner circle. All right. So now it's my turn. So I'm going to do a story too, just like Justin did. And it's not going to be a long, drawn-out story, but there are many facets and many branches to this tree. But it's kind of interesting. Justin had the podcast going on for a while before I joined. The YouTube channel and podcast going on. I'll say broadcast, because that's what we really are. It's a broadcast. So he had the broadcast going on for a while before I joined. And then we met along the way at Grand Lodge, really, on several different events, and spent some time together, hung out, then ended up hanging out in the middle of the year as well. It started branching into different times that we started hanging out at different events and stuff. And he said, hey, why don't you come on the show one time? And I said, well, okay, man, didn't know I was that cool, but yeah, I'll be happy to. And so I came on the show with him, and it was so funny. So Justin always had this laundry list of questions that he would ask everybody. Everybody got the same questions. Well, he sent them to me, and I took it serious. And I had answers to every single thing, and I had it all written out categorically. And we had the best freaking show ever. If any of y'all want to know the origin of Justin and I with Masonic Improvement, go back to the episode of Well-Rounded Lodge with Dennis Yates. That was our very first episode together.
And we didn't cover all his notes, and the rest of those ended up in his book. So,
yeah, I mean, it was an intense conversation. Well, not intense, but it was a great conversation. We had a really good conversation.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And after that, Justin was just kind of like, "Hey, man, want to come on the show?" It's like, "Yeah, I want to come on the show." But the formation of the inner circle was a different story altogether. We were, over time we realized, and we started telling people, look, that we have always felt like we were on this island in the middle of nowhere because of where our lodges are. We're not in the big cities. We're kind of in the outskirts of the larger cities, and we always felt like we were on an island because everybody knows that these little country lodges just get sucked in a vacuum of the same thing. No matter what you want, they're going to do the same thing. No matter if they're living, dying, if there's 3 people showing up every month, they're going to keep doing the same thing. And I just couldn't do that anymore. I was ready to quit. I didn't want to be a part of that. That's not what I read that Freemasonry was going to be. And so that's when we realized that this show was far more important than we could have ever thought originally. What was first a rant for Justin, and then me,
still just rant.
Right. It does get that way sometimes. And then for me, an opportunity just to talk my ass off because I like to talk. It really did turn into a place for everybody to join us on our island, and for us to join everybody else on their little island. And that's the thing, is that's what this show has become. And then we decided, the name came from one of the episodes we were talking to my mentor, Bradley Kohanke, and a personal friend of Justin's as well, and most people on this in the inner circle. We were talking to him, and during this episode, we were talking about how, we find our people within Freemasonry. There are secrets in Freemasonry, but not everybody knows them. Not everybody can comprehend them. But they're found within the little circles of friends that get together over a glass of scotch and sit and talk about the esoteric nature of what we're a part of. The people that get together and talk about the ways we can advance ourselves administratively so that we can run more efficiently and more effectively for our lodges. The little circles that get together and talk about how we can best serve our neighbors as we serve ourselves. There's those little circles. And so that's where the idea of the inner circle name kind of came from for me, was, this is this is a group that we can get together and we can talk about anything. And I don't care what it is. We can talk about anything, and I'm not going to feel upset or discouraged by any one of you by what you have to say. Number one, I know that you're respectful because you love me. Number two, I know that whatever you say, because you are intentional enough with your Freemasonry to be on here trying to make a difference, that whatever you say is genuine and you're trying to help. It's not coming from a place of malice. So that to me is my inner circle. And that to me is what somebody gets to be a part of when they join. Now, are there benefits of no commercials and all that other kind of stuff? Yeah, it is. But even more than that, it exemplifies the true nature of Freemasonry. Brothers who challenge each other to be better humans than we were when we got on this show at the beginning. And we continue to do that day in and day out. And yeah, we poke fun at each other and we give each other hard times on certain things. But that's because we're trying to make each other better. We're trying to help each other, and in a loving way. That's the difference. Nobody's trying to hurt each other. We're not crabs in a bucket where, you want to keep, I've said it before on the show, you want to keep, a crab in a bucket, you just throw another crab in the bucket. And then they'll just fight each other to see who gets to get out of the bucket. And then neither one will ever get out of the bucket. We're not crabs in a bucket. We're not trying to hold each other down. We're trying to lift each other up. That's what the inner circle means to me. So we come from all different walks of life. We have members that are all over the nation, as a matter of fact. Not all of them come on the show all the time, but we do have members from all over the nation that come on. Heck, we've even got people from over in Europe and down under in Australia that are contributors to the show. I mean, that's the reach of Masonic improvement. And it all started because we felt like we were on an island. And then Justin and I got together and we kind of fueled each other's fire and transformed. That's what it's all about, right? Transformation through fire. Yes. I got an opportunity to say that. Now, if you want to know any more about something like that, then read the Philosopher's Plane. No, oh dang it! I just blew it. It's one of my favorite books too. I was thinking about going back and reading it. Anyways, but it's by Manly P. Hall. The something flame. Golly.
The Initiates of the Flame?
The Initiates of the Flame. That's it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's it.
I had a brain fart there for a second, guys. That's the 50s coming out in me. And just like Cody said in the chat. See, Cody likes to poke at us in the chat. He doesn't voice his opinions in front of everybody. He just talks crap about us on the chat. But I'm at that age where it's not a catheter. It depends.
Hey,
Oh, you better shut your pie hole right now, mister.
I can't help it. You're older. Your head shows me that.
I'll say real quick, since we've had a few people join the inner circle, during Dennis's talk, because you're so inspirational.
Well, I'm gonna eat some Tums because I made myself sick.
I posted.
I'm gonna mute myself so y'all don't hear it.
I posted a link to the Facebook group. So if you joined and you're a new member, or if you're an existing member and you never joined the Facebook group for whatever reason, there's a link in chat. So just be sure you do that, and we'll try to get you in pretty quick. I will say this as Dennis was talking, kind of off subject. Well, let me come back full circle before I move on. So yeah, so the inner circle, as hopefully is demonstrated, provides lots of value. It's a huge amount of value, and if you're just not getting the Freemasonry that you're looking for, or maybe you feel like you had been promised, you feel like maybe you got that bait and switch, it's there. It exists. You may not ever find it in your lodge. You may not find it in your small town. You're not gonna find it between fish fries. It's just not gonna be there. But it is real. It does exist, and this is one of the places to find it. This is where it's at. And so if you're not sure where to look, or if you're feeling frustrated with your own lodge, don't give up. Come join the inner circle. Get involved with our conversations, and I promise you'll find what you're looking for. As for why I joined my own inner circle earlier today, anytime I want to post on the inner circle, I have to switch profiles and go to Masonic Improvement and then go look for the group. So if I just join the group, I could just post directly in there. It's just less switching. And so I saw the opportunity. I figured out how to do that today. That's why I did that. It's like, that's annoying. I was going to say...
to make sure you didn't get hacked.
No. Not this time. You were talking, Dennis, about the lodges, and this kind of goes naturally to what I was just talking about. These small lodges, they're losing members. They're losing more members than they gain every year, and they're continuing. They're doubling down on the practices that are killing them, basically. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking about that scene from the Titanic, where the ship's going down, and you have the band. I think it's actually based on something that really happened, but you had the band on the end of the ship, and they're playing their violins.
They were told to play. Yeah, they were told to play through the deal so it wouldn't make everybody so nervous or anxious.
So they're doing all they know how to do. The only way they know how to help anything, right? And but the ship's sinking. They're doing what they've always done, and it's not gonna do anything to change the course of things. And so I know it's like a little bit different because they're doing it just kind of. It was a terrible situation, but I think about that because so many lodges are doing that. They're playing the fish fry, playing the business meetings, playing the let anybody in that wants to join, and hoping that one of the things that they've always been doing will suddenly start working, or things will just be different, and that will never happen.
My brothers, since we're talking about people being part of the inner circle and all that kind of good stuff, and people doing whatever, trying to anything and everything to try to keep their lodge alive, except for focusing on Freemasonry. How about if we talk a little bit about who our guest speaker is?
Yes, that'd be great.
Do you want to announce it, or you want me to?
You have a much. I'll say this. I'll kind of build you up a little bit. How about that?
There you go.
I'll tell you this, that statistically speaking, this brother has had some of the best information brought to our show, and he is a wonderful brother who we all love, and he spits nothing but facts. He's got nothing but facts, and you can't argue with it because he's got evidence. And so, if you
Jason, it is not you. For those of you who can't read the caption that I can read.
So with that, who's it going to be, Dennis? Tell us all about it.
Brethren, all, I am so excited to tell you that our discussion leader, because that's what we do at these dinners is we have discussion. But our discussion leader is going to start with a presentation. But this discussion leader is an Inner Circle member. He's with us almost every weekend on YouTube. He doesn't come on the show with us to show his shiny face, but he's almost always fielding questions and stuff in the YouTube channel. He does a better job than almost everybody else in answering questions for us. But this brother is the one, the only, the Grand Lodge data machine, Zach Haston. He is going to be our speaker and start the discussions at our dinner, and I couldn't be more proud that he's going to be doing that. We love Zach. He has been on our show a few times, and we've got some episodes that we've recorded that we haven't put on the show yet. We just love Zach, and he's one of the few people that will hold my feet to the fire no matter what setting it's in, and I love him for it. And I accept it. Anytime he says it, I can't help but to accept it because I know it comes from a good place, and I know it comes from facts.
Yeah.
It's almost like talking to Robert Marshall, right? You know, if he says something to the contrary of what I say, then I know I better go check myself because I got something wrong. But
yeah, it's hard to argue with the guy who has all the numbers behind him.
Well, the difference is Robert will pull out a history book and Zach will pull out a spreadsheet. So.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Now that's
he
terrific. Man, I'm so bummed I'm not going to be there this year. Dang it.
You know,
this is where it sucks to be a DDGM, huh?
Yeah, this is the one opportunity, or not opportunity. This is the one time that it sucks to be DDGM. other than this one thing, I really have. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and
That's
say
all
that,
right. You're gonna have
my
fun
time
at the
has been
Grandmaster
smooth.
stuff.
But man, yeah, I'm gonna miss not being there with you guys this year.
We'll miss you.
You know, I thought I knew spreadsheets until I started seeing Zach stuff, and I went, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I felt that way, when I got to know Jason real well. Jason is our he's our resident spreadsheet guy,
Yeah.
right? Zach is our master. He's like our what's that called in the Navy? The master diver. He's our master diver of data. He really is.
I'm glad you brought up Jason because he started to look sad over there because we were talking so highly of Zach's spreadsheets. He's like, I got spreadsheets. What's
Look at mine, guys. No. But Jason just doesn't have the data available to him. If he had the data available to him, he'd be able to sort through it just like Zach. But he doesn't.
I just make up the data myself. That sounds good.
Yes, that's what I do too. Fake it till you make it, guys.
Absolutely knows the airspeed of an unladen swallow, both African and European.
Yes, for sure.
Nice.
But that's so now that we've talked a little bit about the inner circle, let's talk about the kind of the gist around the inner circle dinner and why we created that. Go ahead, Justin.
Man, I tell you, I think the inner circle dinner, I think its inception, and I meant to mention this earlier, I think the inception of all this, that's my word for the night, is inception. All of this, I think this all began when Dennis and I hosted the summit in Corpus.
Yes.
And I think that was also, I don't know why I didn't think of it when I was talking, but that was kind of the brainchild that really led to this, what this is. But the summit was needed at that time for what it was, and we won't go into all the details on that, but it was very specifically and very intentionally planned due to circumstances that year. But I don't think either one of us really expected the support and the showing that we got to that. As far as Masonic events go, the only other one that even compares was the Roy City event that Brad put together, and that was huge. But the summit was, it was a wonderful once in a lifetime experience, and I think just based off that, Dennis and I were like, we didn't want to do a summit every year. It was a lot, but we wanted to do something, and what better time to do something and to have deep intellectual conversations than when everybody's already in one spot. Oh, that's going to be Grand Lodge, because everybody in Texas, well, not everybody, but most of the active Masons in Texas, we all migrate to Waco once a year. So we're already going to be there. It's very central. They have some of the finest restaurants for hundreds of miles in the one we go to. It's specific. It is exceptionally
Just
high
about
end.
the finest in Waco. It's cream of the crop.
I've been to some very nice restaurants, and it's top tier. And so it's an opportunity for us to, and let me be clear, we're not just going to a restaurant sitting around a table. We have, and Dennis will really go into this more, but we have a whole room reserved just for us. Masonic Improvement makes such a showing, and we are such good customers, and such, we're so easy to work with that they're very accommodating to us. And so we have a whole, not just a room, we have like basically half the restaurant that's going to be reserved for us. And first year was great as far as attendance. Last year was packed, and I'll tell you what, this year, Dennis he know better than I will, but it's looking like it's going to be bigger this year too. And it's fantastic food. We have our own bar in there, and maybe that's why they like us coming, because we keep getting more.
It started as the Resolution 9 bar that we brought in specifically for that resolution.
Yes, I forgot that.
I still call it the Resolution 9 bar, but they bring it in just for us with our own bartender, and our own scotch and whiskeys that we choose, and along with regular bar stuff, and then you can get wine from the cellar. But yeah, it's quite an event.
Why don't you go ahead and take over? I was
Okay,
kind of towards. No, it's fine. I was towards the end anyway.
Okay. So the restaurant is called Diamondbacks, and if you haven't been to Diamondbacks in Waco, Texas, it is a premier steakhouse, and they have a wide variety of food, but every dish is top tier, and ours is no different. For us, you choose from either a fillet or a like a 12-ounce prime rib or whatever, or a sea bass or something like that. I can't remember what the menu is. What I'm going to do is when I send out the invitations, you'll get a menu for you to choose what you're going to have to eat. And then there's always a special item. Like for the past 4 years, or the past 3 years, we've had the special item of the tomahawk steak. And now it's one of the best steaks in town, I can tell you. And they purchase all their beef specifically for our event, so it's fresh. But the tomahawks, they're probably twice as much as the rest of the menu. It's well worth it. But this year I was thinking about, because typically there's only 2 or 3 of us that'll get a tomahawk. I always get one. But I was thinking about changing it up to like a 12-ounce ribeye or something like that, or a 10-ounce ribeye. Something really big, 3/4 to a full inch of ribeye that is just mouth-watering delicious. But I hadn't decided yet what that extra dish is going to be yet. That's going to be, like a different tier of cost than the regular meal. But this event, the hall, is a new part. Well, now it's not so new anymore. It's a couple years old. The hall is half of the restaurant, like Justin was saying, and it's just one room. In fact, we have our own entrance going into the restaurant so that the rest of the guests don't see us coming through. It's that private, that exclusive. If we want to go to the restaurant, we have our own hallway to the restaurant. We don't go through any of the dining experience of other people to have our dealings. We have our complete wait staff. They usually staff us with 5 or 6 waiters and waitresses, and then there's one bartender, and usually one helper for our group. You come in, so this event starts. So that night there is also going to be the hospitality suite that Carlton puts on every year, or has been for the past few years, over at the Hilton. And that starts at like 5 o'clock, right after Grand Lodge. That basically starts. Everybody goes over there and gets to hang out with each other and this and that. Our event starts at 6, or that's when we tell everybody to start coming over. So you have a chance to go over to the hospitality suite and hang out with everybody over there before you come over to Diamondbacks, which is basically right across the street. It's walking distance from the downtown Hilton. So you can walk over there and then head over to the bar and go ahead and have drinks until everybody shows up. The way that we do it now, it's a prepaid deal for the meal that they take the money for. Justin and I don't deal with any of that. I don't want to deal with any of it. They deal with it all. They take all the orders. They take everything in advance, and then they have name cards for us as we come in, and we take our name card and put it on the table where we want to sit. And then if you're the first one, then man, you might get stuck with nobody sitting around you. Not just kidding. But they have exactly enough seats for exactly enough guests that we have. And this is a suit and tie event only. This is not a blue jean event. This is not a Sunday best polo shirt event. This is a suit and tie event. The reason why is because our expectations of Freemasonry is up here. It's not down here with Jason Reichenberg. No.
Hey, wait a second. I'm going to put up a little bit of resistance here because I have a very cool kilt that I am absolutely willing to wear next year.
So for those watching, Jason put and kilts on there, and so that's why I said that. But if you have a Prince Charlie jacket and a kilt, then that's fair game, because a Prince Charlie is formal, and that's what this is. This is formal. So, but if you walk into this event, even if you paid, and you're not dressed in formal attire, you're going to be asked to leave. Plain and simple. That's not the event for you if you walk in like that, because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a different experience. When you're getting dressed and getting ready, you're getting your mindset for what you're fixing to partake in. And so it starts at your hotel. When you're getting dressed in your suit, freshening up, getting ready, the transformation starts at your hotel. And then you realize what you're starting to become a part of. When you walk around at the meet and greet hospitality suite, you're going to see a lot of people that are dressed down. That's because they're just cutting loose at that point. But we're preparing ourselves, and you're already going to feel separated from that atmosphere, knowing that you're fixing to jump into a different atmosphere that has education, contemplation, and discussion, to where we challenge each other to be the best humans and best Masons that we can be. Well, Cody has his hands up.
Whoa.
Cody, you're not going to wear overalls, are you? I think I just got in trouble.
Well, no, he just needs to remember to unmute his mic.
Oh, there you go. Cody, unmute yourself.
Okay. I just spent the last 30 seconds pouring out my heart, and I was muted. So.
And then it was gone.
And then it was gone. Yeah. I had a forum down in Temple at Knob Creek 401 last Saturday. And Dennis, what you were just talking about the preparation is one of the very things that I discussed with these guys about walking into your lodge room for a meeting, that it starts while you're out in the dining room. And of course, you challenged me to back that up to being at home, putting your suit on. But things start locking away the outside world when you're out in that dining room getting ready to come in. And by the time you're inside the sanctuary of that lodge room, your whole mindset should be different. This complete transformation of your mind, getting in the right headspace for our meeting. What you're saying about the dinner is no different there. We're preparing for it while we're getting dressed, and once we walk in, of course, it's a good time. It's fun. We're cutting up some, but the whole preparation is different. So that's a really good point. I like that.
Thank you, Cody. I always feel proud when I get approval from you.
Dennis is so wise.
But that's ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to separate ourselves from the mundane world where everybody is the same drone walking in circles with their face in their phone. When we get together in our inner circle dinners, you can't help but to be a part of the conversation. Every table has some of the most intentional and purposeful Masons in Freemasonry in Texas. Every table does. So no matter where you sit, you're sitting at a great table to speak with other people. Some of these guys are some of the top intellectuals of our day within Texas. some of these guys are real shakers and movers administratively, and some are, and many of them are from the halls of Grand Lodge. Not necessarily on the front end of it to where everybody sees their face, but a lot of your committee members and stuff like that will be within our dinner, because these are your purpose-filled Masons. You know, that's one of the things that always struck me the most about Grand Lodge in general, is that, you know, some guys just have that same idea, and you older guys like me will understand, you know, time to make the donuts. It's just that time to put on our britches and get to work. But there's other brothers that they are going to Grand Lodge for a specific purpose. A purpose of making sure that democracy is at its finest, and we get this thing right. That's the job. That's the goal. That's the heartbeat of keeping this thing going for everybody's enjoyment. And so you already have a concentration of people who really do give a damn about Texas Freemasonry, not just their little lodge. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that love Freemasonry that are within their little lodges that never go outside of their lodges. But those are all, some of those people are also the ones that get their lodges in the biggest trouble because they feel like they're their own separate entity and that they don't have any part of the bigger picture. The guys that are going to Grand Lodge are the ones who care about the bigger picture more than just themselves. And so you've already got that concentration of those brothers there at Grand Lodge, at the Grand Annual Communication. And then at our inner circle dinners, you have a more intensified focus of those type of brothers that are coming from their little lodges from all over, that are trying to learn a better path, a better way to do things so that they can take it back to their lodges. Because that's what this is all for, right? You know, it's not about the buttons that you put on your lapel. I see people with shit tons of lapel pins and all the swag you can throw on your body, and that's not what it's all about, man. What it's about is going and being a part of all these bodies, not to say, look at me, I'm a part of all these bodies, but to go to these bodies and then bring that information back to the Blue Lodge and support your Blue Lodge. The talk that I'm going to give tomorrow, which is another reason why we have our Inner Circle membership, you know, it supports Justin and I with our, you know, running around and doing all the things we do. Man, it costs a lot of money to drive 60,000 miles a year just for Freemasonry, on top of the other miles that you put on going back and forth to work every day. It takes a lot to do that. And so, you know, that's another way that contributes. It, you know, like the summit that we did and the events that we put on, all the different things that we do, taking Freemasonry to the Mason, that's all part of why you guys are supporting us, in other words. I hate to sound like this is an infomercial or something, but that truly is. It really is. You know, those are the things that we're doing on a regular basis. Hell, I was at 3 different places last week, and none of it was for my own pleasure. It was to help other people. Yeah. It was to help other entities, help other lodges.
Well, it's worth pointing out, usually when we're traveling is because we're giving presentations and stuff for the lodges. Yeah. It's bringing light to the lodges. It's not just for our, like was pointed out, it's not to further our Masonic careers by any means.
No. Tomorrow night I'll be over at over in Seguin with the chapter and council for the Guadalupe area out of the Guadalupe Lodge. And so in that presentation, I actually tell them that I want them to, the whole reason I'm there is for the same reason that we say in the Scottish Rite. It's for them to learn this stuff and take it back to the Blue Lodge. because all of these appendant bodies that are out there, what they're doing is they're trying to reiterate the stuff that you should have learned in Blue Lodge. And so if you really study those degrees, then you realize, oh, this is a lesson I was supposed to learn before. Even though I got too caught up in the is it factual if Hiram was here or there in the Bible and this and that? That doesn't matter. The story is to teach you a philosophical lesson of self-improvement. And you should have caught that in the Blue Lodge, but we don't have that. We don't always have that support in our Blue Lodge that can give us those answers. And so we go to these other bodies thinking, well, this is where we're going to find our information. When you do find it, whether it's on the show or at any other body or whatever, take it back to your Blue Lodge. That's the goal. Take it back to these guys. Get them hungry. Get them full of zeal. Because if we don't, then they're going to walk away.
Yeah, and I'm a Scottish Rite.
My soapbox.
I'm Scottish Rite in York, right? And I really enjoy Scottish Rite. I really enjoy it. But I'll also say, to your point, Dennis, if lodges were doing what they should have been doing all along, there would have never been a need for any other appendant bodies. Like you said, it's all you're expounding on everything that you learn in the first 3 degrees. There would never be a need, never, because we're already doing this stuff in the lodge. But the fact that we don't is why we have, and honestly, a lot of these appendant bodies probably originated because they were tired of people just talking about fish rise, and they're like, okay, let's do something a little bit deeper somewhere else. If they just like the inner circle came about because we weren't getting those conversations in lodges. Back in the day, there wasn't Zoom,
nor a lot of appendant bodies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of appendant bodies out there, and invitation only bodies that you're just not going to get the Freemasonry you think you're getting. You get exclusivity, sure, but you don't get the inclusivity of the work, of the knowledge, of the wisdom, because it's just not there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we don't give out lapel pins here at Masonic Improvement. At least not yet.
Oh, but you better start doing it soon.
Actually, I've been working on a few different things for gifts for our inner circle members, just as appreciation. But that's going to have to wait a little bit. I've been preoccupied with other things lately. But
we're going to set up a portable tattoo parlor outside the dinner, and you get one chance for a Masonic Improvement tattoo on the body part of your choosing. Don't go nuts with it.
Tattoo, but I want a T-shirt. Dang it.
Well, and that's one thing that
I'm going to launch my print-on-demand merch here in a little bit for you. That's stolen Masonic Improvement branding.
Okay, right.
Nice. Well, that will probably, that's been the one thing that I've wanted to do is some more of these T-shirts. Except it'll have the new logo on it. But on the back of it, it says "Level Up, Past Master." But I'll probably just say "Level Up" on the back later on.
Honestly, if we're gonna call it Masonic Improvement, it shouldn't be a T-shirt.
I know.
It needs to be a polo.
But if I'm giving it away for free,
game gear. No, don't give it away for free.
Okay,
because it's only worth what you pay for it.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, guys. Our inner circle has
what you pay for it.
Our current inner circle has already spoken, so they won't be free, but they will be available. I will design some more.
Put it on a polo.
I do
works
have
better for a back design because it's got that big vent panel.
Right.
Something like or Game Guard Columbia, whatever you want to, the fishing shirt. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And you can even make it available in a long sleeve.
Just so y'all know, Cody Stewart had to leave the building. He said, "Happy Thanksgiving, my dear brothers."
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because he has one of those.
His iPad battery always dies.
Yeah.
But he uses it for work all the time, so I get it.
Oh yeah, because the more you use those batteries, the quicker they drain.
Yes.
But and I miss Cody.
I do. I'm always so tickled to see when he's on because he's always got good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. He's very, very smart. I do want to say, and maybe I'm off topic here, but I'm kind of multitasking here.
Go right ahead.
I'm deep diving more into what I brought up at the beginning of the show, and my math was off. It's not 7. It comes out to 65. 65, but if you reduce it, it comes out, like do reduction, it'll come out to 2. And so 2 doesn't really have a whole lot of esoteric significance from what I can see. It's associated like with duality and balance and things like that. But interestingly, 65 is in Kabbalistic gematria. 65 is the numerical value for the Hebrew name of God, Adonai.
Ah, see, that's good.
So
that's good.
So I know, and it's more of an ego
like
thing because I made a mistake. I wanted to correct myself before anyone caught it, but
it's good that you did because I would have caught it.
But yeah, so I just throwing that out there. Please continue.
That's cool. That's good. That's a cool thought. Well, you've killed the vibe now. Now it's time to move on to something else.
It's what I do, man. I kill vibes.
I know. You're Debbie Downer.
I never passed a vibe check. Yeah, what was that, SNL? It's like, wah, wah, wah.
I love it. So, since we're on the kick of the Inner Circle and the Inner Circle dinner, and since Thanksgiving is upon us, I do want to tell all you brothers out there, even the brothers that aren't financial contributors that are excited about going to the dinner, that have been invited and accepted. Like I said before, and there's a lot of our Inner Circle members that are not on this show regularly on Sunday night, just because of time restraints and stuff like that. But if you are not an Inner Circle member, you were vouched for by an Inner Circle member. And like I said, we've got brothers from all around the country and definitely all around the state. So I can assure you that for you to walk in the door, you were vouched for by someone we truly trust. Someone who shares our same values in the respect of being allowed to have our own thoughts and opinions, and everyone being okay with that. Because we're different humans and we're in different journeys. We're just in the different journeys parallel to each other. And so it's okay to have a different opinion and different thought at any given point. And we don't always agree, but we challenge each other through rhetoric and conversation for transformation. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I just want to tell everybody that I am thankful for all you brothers. I love you guys. Like all of y'all said before during your own individual spiels, except for Jason, because he hightailed it. He crawdadded as soon as we asked for our Inner Circle members to speak. That's okay. Mr. Silent, Mr. Silent but deadly back there in the back.
When you get old, sometimes nature calls, and you can't put it on hold
at the least opportune moments.
And I can totally relate, but you better shut up with the old. I think I'm the oldest one here.
Like I'm saying,
you probably are.
2-liter bottles. Put a funnel on it if you dribble.
And we pay to be in this conversation. And we pay to be in this conversation.
Yes. Nice. But anyways, I am thankful to all you guys, and I truly love you guys. You, like all of you said, you fill my cup. You help me.
You fill my 2-liter
and get ready for the next. I'm gonna give you a 2-liter for Christmas. That's gonna be under the tree, Justin. But anyways, yeah, fill my cup, pun intended. Yes. But you truly do bridge the gap for me, that I don't always feel like I'm getting even in some of these lodges where I think we're progressing along pretty good in the lodges, I feel like I'm needing to put so much effort into it that it's draining me. I don't get to find the enjoyment that other members might be able to find because I'm putting so much into the process. And hopefully, y'all feel the same, that when I come around here on Sunday afternoon, I'm getting recharged and ready for the next. Go ahead, Justin. You got your hand up.
Hey, we talked so much about the dinner.
Teacher's pet.
We talked so much about the dinner, but the question was asked, it was texted to me, and I don't remember if we ever covered. When is the dinner actually? What night is it going to fall on?
Thursday night at Grand Lodge. I usually get there on Wednesday night, and then Thursday is the opening of Grand Lodge, where they do all the pomp and circumstance. And Thursday night is usually not really eventful, and so we do that night as our night.
That's the 15th, just to clarify.
Although they do have, and I hate to say this now, but Dave McCann, God bless him, he has the pub crawl on Thursday night also. And we usually watch them pass us as they're going to crickets. They'll pass us on that pub crawl, and we'll all stand up and give a toast to the pub crawl guys as they go by us, because we'll see them through our window.
I can validate that fact.
One year after the dinner, several of us went and tried to catch up with the pub crawl, and we did. And man, it was still going on till like 1:30, 2 in the morning. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm too old for this stuff. I can't.
Dennis crawled, but for a different reason. It was just past his bedtime.
Yes. So now I've gone back to my normal ritual, which is, after the dinner, I get together with friends from all around the country that come in, and we just sit and drink some scotch and rum and talk Freemasonry. We really that's when I really take the deep dives esoterically is when I'm around those guys. Justin can validate that. He's often there as well.
One of them has a flask that automatically fills the perfect amount in your glass, and he'll tell you every time. He'll show it to you. It's like, check out this flask I got. It's like, yes. Okay.
Not to take away from the dinner and everything.
And Justin's right there. Show me again.
Show me again.
The magic flask.
Go ahead, Josh.
A lot of times on that pub crawl, we'll make a lot of turtles over there at crickets.
Take care, Daniel.
Have a good evening, Daniel.
I'm not a fan of crickets, man. It's too noisy over there.
It is for me too. It's for young kids, not for me. That's for the college.
Bunch of young pups.
There's also the opportunity to make turtles at the Friday night show.
Yes.
Over at the backyard. And
yes.
That's always a good time too. I haven't done the turtle thing at crickets yet, but the turtle gatherings at the backyard are a blast.
We did that not last year, but the year before, and there probably was like 50 people we were making turtles, and they were all huddled in that one little front area. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, David Hill and Robert Marshall, they've been doing that now for, gosh, it's got to be at least 10 years at the backyard. And yeah, that's an event to be had. If you're not a turtle, then you should go and
you ought to be. But I will say this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Robert posted this a week or so ago. This may be the last of the backyard concerts this year.
Oh man!
Yeah, I did see that.
I did not.
Yeah, if you have been, are interested in being part of the backyard celebration, this is probably the year to go.
I'm curious what the reasoning was.
And he did not say. I do not know what the reason is. I do know that there has been, or I don't know. There's it's historically it has been a fundraiser
for one of the lodges, but I don't know if that's if the this being the last year is a result of that lodge not wanting to host a fundraiser, or if it's a matter of Robert just not having time anymore, or what's going on there. I don't know anything about that. All I know is he said that this is likely to be the last one. And that makes me sad.
Well, Byron, if you're so sad, I would say it'd be a great undertaking for you there, buddy.
And I do kind of have an in with the front man for the band, so maybe that does turn into something. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric will be at our Inner Circle dinner as well. I'm friends with him as well.
Oh God! And that's just one more reason I'm going to be sad to not be there this year, because he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, I like him too.
Eric is such an incredibly cool, not just a great guy, but a really good man. And in my mind, there is a very strong distinction there. I've been very pleased to meet his lovely bride, who is just a ridiculously wonderful woman in her own right. And I love his music. I do, truly. So that's just another fun thing for me, is getting to go see Eric every opportunity I get.
Yeah, I enjoy going as well. I usually show up for a little while. I don't stay all too long because, like I said, I'm one of those weirdos that tucks away and talks Freemasonry, in a private setting. But I do show up because I do want to support the efforts that happen there. Ever since Robert invited me the first time I went to Grand Lodge, I haven't missed a night. So I encourage everyone to go. There's a few things that I always show up to. Since Carlton's been doing it, I've shown up to his oh my goodness, I just had a brain fart. That's that age thing kicking in.
Hospitality room?
His hospitality room, yes. The Newberry Hospitality Suite. That's one of the things that I always go to, even though I'm only there for a few minutes, because I have to go and get ready to make sure everything is on point at Diamondbacks, even though really everything is already ready. Our hostess, the woman that used to be our hostess at Diamondbacks, is now the owner of Diamondbacks, and she's still hosting us as the owner. She hasn't completely pawned it off. She has someone that is the hostess for Diamondbacks now, and she'll be there. However, Megan will be there as well, and she always takes really good care of us. I really do appreciate all that they do there and if any of y'all are in Waco for any other reason, it's an event just to go there. I mean, it's just a really nice place to eat. If you really enjoy food and you really enjoy Texas food, then I totally support Diamondbacks, because they really do have some top-notch food, and it's really a nice environment. It's always a pleasure to go there. Thank you, Megan, for all you do if you're watching the show.
Well, we talked up
because I know you want to be a Mason.
We talked up her show so much she should pay us just to run a commercial.
I ought to do an infomercial for her.
Very good.
I'll talk to her about that when we're there.
I'm sure.
Hey, let's do an infomercial. No, but seriously, anytime you're in Waco, that's a place to go. And what's really funny is last year, we had some people coming in on one side of the door, and I was looking for Megan, and I went in that side of the door, and there were people that I typically wouldn't have dinner with, that are members of our grand jurisdiction, and then they saw that we were having this huge event on the other side of the wall, and their jaws dropped. Like, what? But anyways, that's enough about that.
Sorry, I'm responding to a text here.
Okay.
Do we want to go into closing thoughts? It'll take us another half hour to get through that.
Well, I'd like to know if anybody really had a whole lot to say in the chat tonight.
Not a whole lot. We had several new Inner Circle subscribers, and
Nice.
we had 4 new members. And I don't know if that's counting because we had some people upgrade also.
No.
Upgrade their membership. I don't know if that's counting that or not. So yeah, I mean, it's been very productive, and as this plays after, who knows what else will grow on that. But other than that, nothing really. There's just people talking about how much they appreciate the show. There was a comment earlier when we were talking about dress. They didn't say much after I clapped back at them. They're like,
It's the internal, not the
yes,
external.
that's exactly what it was. Actually, they were like, that is exactly what they said with all caps. It is the internal, not the external. And I just said, the external is a reflection of the internal. If something is important to somebody internally, then they will dress that way. Dress the way that represents it externally. And I didn't hear much more about that. And that's why that's why this is a suit only event, because if we're coming to do work, and that is the work of the profession that we are engaged in, that is the uniform for the work that we are engaged in.
Well, I'd like to say something on that real quick.
Bring up on the uniform. That's the word that I wanted to use.
That's why
earlier.
everybody needs shirts, right? Okay. Good point. And I want to say something. Let's get into a little bit of education here for all you Freemasons out there looking for a little bit of esoteric understanding. So when we think about the internal and the external, think about when you first came in to be a Mason, and we're talking about Aaron during this, and if any of you brothers know, which is what we joined, is a brotherhood, if any of you brothers know, Aaron was the high priest of the tabernacle, Moses' brother and the high priest. There were special clothes made for the high priest, special clothes for the brotherhood, that made them all the same and separated them from the outside world. Now, because it's the internal and not the external, when any priest were to go to the sanctum sanctorum of the tabernacle, they would put a rope around the ankle of that priest. Some might call it a cable tow, but it was a rope. And the purpose for that rope is that if you weren't spiritually clean inside, if your internal was not pure enough for God, you would drop dead when God showed himself. When the Spirit of God came upon the tabernacle after you entered, you would drop dead, and that cable tow was there to pull you out. It's in the Bible, guys. Go and read it. The cable tow was used to pull you out. That was the purpose.
To pull your remains
Correct.
out. Let's make that
Let's
distinction.
be clear. Okay, so brothers, it's in the Bible. Look it up if you don't believe me. But that's the purpose. However, that being said, it is all about the internal with God. But that priestly brotherhood had uniforms, and they were elevated above the rest of the clans.
Tribes.
So, clans, tribes, it's all the same. Tomato, tomato.
Let's not use that word too much. Let's avoid that word.
Oh my gosh. They were all wanderers around, the wilderness. And we can go into that one day too. In fact, we should have an inner circle discussion on that one of these days. Why don't we do that next week? Let's talk about
clans versus tribes.
Well, we can talk about the fact of why they were the people that were wandering around like they were,
Okay,
and
but
who their
I
gods
want to
were.
get you made the tomato argument on clans versus tribes, and I'm gonna
On
here.
the conversation of uniforms.
No, that is not.
Oh my gosh.
Mm,
You can go there because clans are Scottish. But
no, no, I'm not even gonna go that way. They're
okay.
very different things.
Okay.
Clans are
Tell
familial
me.
organizations.
Okay. And
Tribes,
you don't think tribes are?
tribes are cultural organizations. And the two are very different. One is blood, the other is intention.
You don't think that
This would be a great conversation for next
you don't
Sunday.
think
Good.
that 3,000 years ago, all the people in one little herd of group weren't of the same blood? They weren't all ancestrally mingled? You don't think that happened?
That
I
may
believe it
be
did.
the case. That may be the
Okay.
case.
Okay.
But if you really look at it, and if you truly examine the way the words are used today. Now, I'm not going to go to Merriam's or Webster's or anything like that and try and draw a definition. Y'all can do that on your own. But a clan, in my head, in my heart, and in my mind, in my head and in my heart. Mind is the same as head. In my head and heart, clan is a family. That's a blood relationship. A tribe is not that. It is a collection, maybe of several families, but they are not necessarily blood relations.
I think after
It's an
say
intentional relation.
I agree, but I think that was more in part after a few thousand years of existence. When we go back to the ancients, then everybody was probably of the same blood.
Maybe so, because the ancients came from 2 people, so everybody was of the same blood.
Right.
If you want to go back to the Adam and Eve, right?
Well, I'm not going to go to Adam and Eve.
Everybody came from them, right? If we're going to go biblically. But if you want to look at tribal relationships, my example is going to be
more recent.
It's going to be Aboriginal Americans.
Okay, so let me throw this out there. Since we're just totally do it. It's like free form. It's like free form rap, but with esoteric stuff. You say we all came from Adam and Eve, but that can't be true. And here's why. We know now that
it was Adam and Steve.
We know now that there were several different
that was so bad.
branches of humanity at some point. You had like the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, and all this. And they, as far as we could tell, most of, not all of them, were genetically close enough that they could interbreed, but they were different enough that they were not the same. And so, my point is, if God created man in his own image, according to the Bible, then there is definitely, and we don't know which one it was, there's definitely one of those branches that was determined to be in the image of God and was created in God's own image. And so when you see the children of Adam and Eve, when they leave Eden and they go into the world and have families and procreate, and the question always been, well, who are they having kids with? It wasn't each other. There were people out there that were not of the same species of humanity as they were, and so it'd be like going and finding out like a tribe of Neanderthals or something.
Yeah, and that was what I was when you started going that way. That's where I was thinking I believe that division is at Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal, is it not?
As far as the division goes,
the division in when you start to talk about
cranial capacity versus cultural leavings or cultural evidence, archaeological evidence. It was because the Cro-Magnon and the Neanderthal occurred pretty much at the same time.
I think I saw somewhere that there was like at one point 17 different. I might be pulling it out of my butt, but it was a really large number.
I mean,
at the same time.
You've got the Australopithecines and and a whole bunch
See,
of
Josh.
others.
What else is interesting? What else is interesting to me about that is I have a buddy that he's actually he runs a museum in a local town, and it's not like a creation. He's not a creation. It's not like the Glen Rose Creationist Museum or anything. It's a dinosaur museum. It's about Texas dinosaurs. I had a really in-depth conversation with him about like the complexity of life and things like that. And you would think, based off what you're taught, as far as and I'm not trying to go off the wall here. It's interesting to me, so maybe y'all think.
Y'all
it's
have already done that. You went completely off the wall from what I was talking about to drive home a point. We went into left field so that everybody forgets about that point.
But
okay, so maybe can we maybe go back to that point?
Yeah.
No, not now. We're way beyond now. Let's just go into the stratosphere.
No, Dennis. Really, I honestly
I don't want to cut off
completion. No, I just want to hear the completion of your thought.
You don't want to cut me off.
That was the completion. We're okay. Do what?
You said you don't want to cut me off after you cut me off. I don't even remember what I was going with it now.
You were having a conversation with the dude in Glenn's Rose.
But you would think that, well, this is esoteric and to an extent. You would think that based on what we're talking about evolution, that you would see evidence of species being really simple and getting more complex as time goes by, and that's not necessarily the case. You have like one of the first land-dwelling mammal-like creatures, which was one of the first four-legged creatures on the surface of the earth, already had like really complex bone structures and things like that. And the conversation then goes into transitory fossils. So there's this mentality like, hey,
the stars, man.
Something, right? Because you would think like, hey, if we say that there's a fish here and a million years later you have these four-legged creatures, there should be a fossil in here. And that was Darwin's big thing. It's like, hey, this is my theory, and you should be seeing these transitory fossils, transitionary fossils, basically, where you see an animal that's not quite one but not quite the other. It's in transition, so it's a transitory fossil. And he's
Antelope.
like, if my theory is true,
antelope.
A mantelope.
Oh, no. Okay. Sorry.
But there's never been any of that found. And like you'll look like when I was going to school for biology, well, they use examples of horses. Like here's a horse where you can see his hooves. Those are just different species of horse. It's not necessarily from point A to point B. And so, to your point, like you're talking about, like where did it? You initially asked. The reason I said this is like where it branched. There's no branch. You have different species, and they look different. And some might look simpler than the others, but the fact is that they all kind of appeared around the same time. And that's always been the thing with history, is you get these bottlenecks where the population, like a meteor or an ice age or something happens, where this bottleneck of population happens, and then suddenly overnight you have a huge variety of overnight. From a geological perspective, you have this huge variety of new and similar creatures, but there's no transition. There's just like they're just manifested there,
and usually found in different layers.
Well, and to that, I mean, as long as we're talking about bottlenecks and stuff.
You want to go that far?
Yeah, and I'm okay, so it's been a long time since I was, being an educated person. Ontogeny does not necessarily recapitulate phylogeny. Is that the phrase I'm trying to remember, Justin?
I don't know.
Something about phylogeny and ontogeny. The form does not necessarily dictate the end result, nor does the end result necessarily dictate the original form.
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm recalling, but I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, well, the function usually, if there's a form, there's usually a function.
One would think, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, I mean, you have things like platypus.
Brings up the platypus.
Oh, it does.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something.
So the egg-laying venomous, not quite mammal, not quite marsupial, not quite reptile.
Yeah.
Call it what you want.
And I'll stop this with this because I know this isn't Dennis's bag, even though I love this kind of stuff. Is there's evidence now? We're talking about, speaking of Ice Age.
Justin, I love you.
Speaking of the Ice Age, where they think it was a lot more sudden, like this deep freeze is a lot more sudden and more abrupt than we ever thought. And I'm not talking about over like 100 years or 10 years. I'm talking about like 24 hours. And as wild as this sounds, a lot of
different events that were like that.
As we have found evidence of woolly mammoths that were flash frozen with flowers in their mouths and in their stomachs that only grow in temperate places. And so how did these mammoths, which were massive, and by the way, they ran the numbers on the science, like how cold would it have had to been to flash freeze a woolly mammoth where even the flowers inside of his body were preserved? It's like negative 150 degrees. And so something wild and dramatic happened that created this huge bottleneck, and that's why you have these basically they're called mummies, but they're not mummies. They were frozen solid thousands of years ago, and it's just been cold constantly ever since. But for those flowers, put it this way: if this was a slow freeze, those flowers would have been moving further south over time, and those mammoths would not have been there eating them, and they wouldn't have got frozen solid while they were doing it.
Okay, good stuff. Did you get something else on the chat? Did people chime in on that one?
Yes, they're like, hey, this is really interesting. This is better than Dennis's point. You should talk about that one. Don't let Dennis keep you down. No, it's nothing like that.
That's funny. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay, Justin, I'll do it this time. Let's go into final thoughts. Jason, what do you got since you bailed on us earlier?
Oh, my God. I was gone for like 2 minutes. No, I mean,
There's
just
a lot of things that happen in 2 minutes or less.
Well, that's true. Especially for Dennis. Okay, anyway.
Yes.
No, the only thing, it's just, Dennis alluded to the fact that he's coming to Seguin Council tomorrow, specifically. Council of Royal Intellect Masters. However, you don't have to have you don't have anything for a PowerPoint or anything that you need to do.
No.
Ah, come on.
No,
So
I don't like pictures.
Well, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because we've taken steps to modernize and improve, and at Guadalupe Lodge specifically, and we just bought a TV system, 70-inch
nice.
flat screen on a roller cart, and and all that kind of stuff. And what we did differently is Guadalupe Lodge could easily afford to have purchased it on its own, but instead we went and we're splitting the cost among the 5 bodies that meet there. And
as you should.
Yeah, and because the thing I get, if I see a lodge name written on one more small container of coffee creamer, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. It's like, I've worked very, very hard to get all of our bodies that meet at the same building, like, work together. Like, let's do stuff together. So now, instead of Guadalupe Lodge spending $600 on its own, which they could do, instead we spread that cost, and now each of them only have to spend about $100, and everybody gets to use it, and everybody gets to benefit, and nobody goes, well, we bought it, so you can't use it. Well, this, like, guys, we're all working towards the same goal here. Let's actually act like we're all in this together.
I just want to interject and say how tempted I am to come visit your lodge just to put names on different things.
Right.
Like go to the bathroom, put on the toilet paper, property of X Lodge.
And I want to bring one of those old school, click, dial it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Those little I don't know what they're called. They're like just put labels on everything.
You guys make fun, but
but they still have one at his desk.
If you don't think I haven't seen that, you'd be sorely mistaken. Anyway, but anyway, we just got it, and you would have been the first one to use it. But whatever, I guess we'll just listen.
What lodge does it belong to?
It sounds to me like Dennis needs to put together a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, put it
right
at least
freaking now.
Yeah, like
That's
at least have one or two pictures or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter.
You should do that, Dennis, and just say like, "Hey, these slides are only for this lodge, and this slides are only since y'all split it."
Anyway. You have to pay to move forward. You have to subscribe to move forward.
I am.
They have to become inner circle members.
There you go.
Yes.
As should tradition prevail, I should be worshipful master this next year at Guadalupe Lodge, and I am starting to put together my education program for next year. The first speaker in July will be Billy Hamilton.
It's a good start.
Yeah,
right on.
But right now, he's the only one. So we're gonna go.
Hey,
anyway, anybody out there wants to travel and wants to do an education presentation? I'm trying to start looking for basically guys that they haven't seen yet. Dennis and a couple of others came out this year. I think you come out. This is your second year at New York, right? I think something like that.
I did the chapter at the beginning of the year. Now I'm doing the council, and I've done the Blue Lodge. I think last year or the year before that. I mean, people know me at Guadalupe for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason.
Not for nothing, but Jason, I'm going to suggest you try and reach out to our grand secretary and see if he will put on a school at your lodge.
A school? There's a comment, Lee H. Ranger. Congrats, Jason, on your son signing an Army contract through Texas A&M Corps of Cadets. So congratulations on that.
Oh, that's right, because your boy gave his oath yesterday, didn't he? During halftime at the game.
Well, no, actually, he was standing in the band. He did his on Friday, separately. Right. But he did sign a contract with Army ROTC, and so he's official now. And like I said, if he doesn't make it to second lieutenant, it's now his own fault.
So all I'm gonna
Butter bars.
Woohoo!
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
awesome.
Congratulations.
That's
cool.
So freaking cool. I had the opportunity this weekend to go yesterday to the backyard, right there off of Kyle Field, and meet up with one of my nieces and her husband, do some visiting, and they shared with me some of the stuff that went on during the game yesterday, and that one of the things that impressed them the most was all of the cadets who are going into the military after graduation.
Yeah.
Like this graduation in May, all gave their oaths on the field at halftime.
Yeah.
That was freaking cool. That warmed me all the way to my toes.
The band wouldn't let him out of formation, so he had to do his on Friday.
Well, those rotten, no good band nicks.
But anyway, no, it would have been cool to see him do it at halftime, and I was going to try and make it up there, but he did do it with his immediate Alpha Company there under the arches there. If you know anything about Texas A&M and the Corps Cadets, the famous arches there, so he did it right there.
Yes.
And his
dude,
mom.
You're in your underwear, and there's a video coming on. I told you to come in here.
Give all the oaths and everything like that.
Yeah, I saw his girlfriend pinning him.
The pin that they wear for it. Yeah. So anyway, that was my final thought. But if you're out there and you want to come down to Guadalupe Lodge, I've got 11 more months to fill. So just get in contact with me.
All right, go ahead, Byron. I don't know what happened to Justin. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. You know, we've touched on a number of different subjects over the course of this evening. One of the things that sticks with me most, and it's always going to stick with me every time we bring it up. Um, there is a uniform for Masonry. It is not always coat and tie. It's not always black tie. It's not always a polo or a fishing shirt or a t-shirt even, but there is always a uniform. Whatever the uniform is for your lodge, wear it. Show up. Participate. Do whatever it is that the lodge does to help us become better men than we were yesterday. That's my final thought.
Okay. I'm wondering where Justin went, because usually I wrap it up. Justin, hello. Testing 1 2.
He's
Okay.
not muted.
I'm gonna give. No, he stepped away for a second. I'll give you my final thoughts, and you know that's okay if that's how you feel about the uniform. I don't believe that that's the uniform of Freemasonry, because it was defined years ago as a black suit, and I believe in that. I believe there's a reason for it, and most Masons don't go back and read as to what those reasons are. They like to make their own assumptions. But in Texas, along with most of the United States, we have changed our mindsets to one of acceptance instead of expectance. And I expect more from myself. I expect more from those around me. But am I going to exclude someone from my lodge or from activities that I'm doing because I'm going to wear a suit? No. But I will wear a suit every time, and I'm going to have a bow tie on every time, because I believe in the temple that we have long forgotten in our lodges. We call them lodges instead of temples. I believe in the temple. I believe in what our purpose is in that temple. And that purpose is the reason why we've been so controversial throughout time, because that's a purpose of philosophical free thinking that is the building block, or the cornerstone of Freemasonry. That ability for men to get together and talk about their own opinions, their own thoughts, their own challenges, and where they fit in this world, and how they're going to become better, so that when it's time to meet the Maker, they're prepared. And it's not even necessarily prepared for eternal life. It's not about salvation. I think it's preparation of the soul for continuation. So with that being said, I expect more from my Freemasonry. Now, am I going to try to make somebody feel better or feel bad about, their lodge or how they dress or whatever? That's not my intention. But I'm just saying I'm not going to do that. I don't have to do that. I can always uphold what my beliefs are, my standards. And you can come up here with me if you want to. I'm not going to go down here with you. I'm just not going to do it. And this show is a reason. That's part of the reason for this show is that I had expectations from that I wasn't getting from my lodges, and I started reaching out to people who were the same, people who understood how I felt, and I've met people around the world, and I've also learned so much more through this process than I ever would have on my own or from my lodge. By reaching out, I have met more people overseas and had those conversations about where Freemasonry originated, and then when it came over here and it became what it was over here, a lot of those places that it started here are still very formal for a reason.
Yeah.
There are certain standards that we're not supposed to forget about. We're going into our temples. We should be talking about free thinking, philosophical and theological discussions by free thinking men to challenge each other to become better humans. And in doing that, we can help other people around us. Our job is not to save the world. Our job is to save ourselves. And then in that process, the world will be saved. Now, our world will be saved because just those people around us will have a better understanding of things through us, basically. So it's not even that every one of us is going to be, every one of us combined is going to change the world. But just like we are all part of these inner circles, these little circles in our lives, we have these circles of friends outside of Freemasonry, that those people will be influenced by our actions. So we will, in fact, change our world when we change ourselves. And sometimes it's not for the good in everybody's opinion. Sometimes it's a negative thing if they're not on the same wavelength. But that's to each his own, because they're free to have their own thoughts as well. That's that tolerance thing that we learn about. Is everybody's free to have their thoughts. But I don't have to subscribe to them. I subscribe to my thoughts, and I subscribe to the ultimate goal of Masonic improvement, and our goal to improve ourselves and the craft as we go along, and be intentional in everything that we do, and expect more from ourselves and each other. You know, if we can just do that, we may not get it perfect every time, but at least we'll be doing something. We don't have to be perfect every time, but at least we'll be doing something constructive and productive, and not sitting on our hands wondering what happened in all this. We have a legacy. There's a part in one of the degrees, I'm not going to say which one, but it expressly talks about the fact that we're treading on the ashes of those who have fallen before us. And, you know, with that being said, that's our legacy, is to make that mean something. So, for me, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Even though I don't always agree with everything everybody says, and I know everybody doesn't agree with me, that's okay too. But together, we're going to get through this thing. Yeah, you're just disagreeable. I'll agree with that. But, you know, with that being said, love you guys, and I appreciate you being on the show tonight, and I appreciate all the people that have joined and all the people who are coming to the dinner. It's going to be a great event. It always is. It's you know, I always feel like I'm with, you know, 70 of my closest friends, and we're doing it right, and we're challenging each other to be the best Masons that we can be. We're not doing it for a big show. We don't have everybody in the restaurant seeing us walking in, saying, "Oh, we're the Masons," with all this regalia and all this kind of stuff on. We're walking in, suits, ties, respectable, clean, good conversations, and looking
We're
good.
just a bunch of guys getting together,
looking
hanging
good,
out.
feeling good, like the Blues Brothers.
And trying very, very much to the best of our abilities to exemplify the men that we wish to be.
There you go. Absolutely right. What you got, Justin?
Oh, I think that was great. I think you did a great job.
Yeah, you walked off in your opportunity for a final thought, so I just rolled into it.
Yeah, because I kind of messed you up and went really, really short.
No, I'm completely fine with this.
Also, since we're wrapping it up, guys, if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, we did explain that our Inner Circle members are monetary contributors to the show through YouTube. It's not just about liking and subscribing; it's also about the purchasing the membership. But that doesn't mean we don't appreciate you listening in and being part of the chat and all that kind of good stuff. Our Inner Circle members feel like they like it, and I know I like it. We're doing our book club right now is that we do with the Inner Circle only is Esoterica by Albert Pike, and that'll be coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're fixing to this Wednesday. Justin and I are going to be recording with Robert Park, Carlton Newberry, and Dave McCam on the resolutions for Grand Lodge, just like we do every year.
Dang, dude, that's coming out Wednesday too, isn't it?
Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, we're going to record Wednesday night. So
yeah.
When are resolutions coming out?
They're still being formatted.
So how are we going to do the thing on Wednesday night if they're still being formatted? Is it a secret?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, y'all aren't discussing it. It's just us four that are discussing it, or us.
Well, he wants to see them regardless.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's us 5, I guess. This time it'll be Justin, me, Park, Carlton, and Dave. All 5 of us will just go one by one talking about the resolutions and then go from there, because there are 27, so there's 26. I thought it was narrowed down to just over 30, but it was narrowed down to 26 plus one carryover from last year. Which that one will be an easy one to just blow through because it's a carryover. But we got 26 new ones to discuss. So it's actually going to be a 2-show event that we're going to do. We'll just be starting it on Wednesday.
So Dave's got them already. All the resolutions.
Well, don't say what he's doing. He's not allowed to release them until it's time.
Okay, so
don't say that on the air.
Sorry, that's my question. Have they been released yet?
No, they have not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
they're not. They are under
look for them.
specific instructions not to release them until they're formatted properly.
Okay, and we don't have a time for when they are going to be formatted properly yet? Is that
no? Because that's depending on volunteers. Correct. Because
so they need volunteers.
No, it's already done. We've already got the volunteers, but they're still working on it.
Oh, okay.
Dude, patience.
No, dude, I'm not doing anything. I can
volunteer. All right, wrap it up the live. We can finish this conversation off live. So people just listen to us back and forth. See y'all. Thank y'all.
Brothers, so we're going to record this week, so they're coming out soon.
Peace.